Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule while they teach well while I learn the truth, 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet servants, scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere, your children, shalom. And in today's video is going to be titled, Never Trust Thine Enemy. So I basically got this video from the brother Arrows of Indignation 144. We're going to be building off of this video where you basically got this Issacharian woman, basically talking about how it is here in America and, things of that nature, talking about how the ICE protests and the deportation and things of that nature. But we always tell you, Jakes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, that this place America isn't your rest, man. That's why you got the deportations happening and, Trump getting ready to, come down with that wrath upon you Israelites, man. Because this all goes according to prophecy. And we know that this man doesn't like you people, man. We tell you people that all the time, but you people fail to realize you think Esau is your friend. You think he cares about you, that he wants you to make it here in America and all of this stuff. No, man. Right. So this is Micah 2:10. It said, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Right. Talking about departing from this place, America spiritually, man. And a lot of our people, they can't depart from this place, because they're in love with it. They're infatuated with it. They're infatuated with the lifestyle, the luxury that they want to achieve, where they see in this place, money and all of this different type of stuff. The illusion that this devil has painted in their mind about this country. This is what they want to seek after. But when they ultimately come over here, they see that this place isn't hyped up to be what they thought, right? Because this place is not our rest, man. So it says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction. And it's destroying a lot of our people. That's why they're bugged out their minds now. That's why they're out here doing all type of manners of wickedness and, just doing whatever, man, because this place has ultimately destroyed their minds, man, right? And we also tell you that this is not your rest because look what Esau is doing to the northern kingdom and soon to come after the southern kingdom as well. He's coming down with that fury upon you Jakes, man, sending you off to El Salvador and all type of other different prison camps and things of that nature. I'm talking about people that was even born here in America. He's sending off to all of these different types of places, but I'm going to get this precept right here. Because a lot of Jakes, they ultimately believe that, like I said, this place America is all good for us and that Esau's our buddy and that he cares about you and all of this different type of stuff. But we know in this day that we're still in our captivity, man, and that this devil is ruling over us, man. Right. He's our oppressor. Right. And I'm going to go to a precept to prove that this is Baruch. Right. Chapter 3. And I'm going to start. It said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Right. Talking about in this place, Babylon, the great America. Right. And it says where thou hast scattered us, right, for a reproach and a curse, right, because we're under the curses, right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, ultimately to our disobedience to the Heavenly Father, man, and his son, right? So when you go into Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, all the way down to 68, it tells you about the curses that were going to befall upon us when we went against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. And that's what we're currently up under now. That's why you got Esau coming after the northern kingdom so heavy, deporting you and doing all type of other manners of wickedness against you, man. And then we're getting ready to come into a time of Jacob's trouble, right? That it tells you about in Jeremiah 30:7. That's when this man is really going to show his hate that he has for you Israelites, man. But this is only the beginning of the evils that are coming. Right. And it says, and to be subject to payments, right? Meaning paying bills, going to works and, working a long period of time, but you're not getting by barely. That's what this is all part of the curses, man. It said, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord, our power. Right. So this is why our people find themselves, in these situations that they're in, man. It all goes back to the curses. It all goes back to ultimately our disobedience, So I'm going to get into this video. I'm going to listen to what it is she's saying. But before I started, I want to say fair use on the 1976 Copyright Act. Not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families.
See? And that's where they messed up at because, like I said again, they trusted in their enemy. You know, they trusted in this place, America. They see all of the things that this man presents unto them via the internet, how this country is and how you can come here and make a better life. And, you know, all of this different madness, that illusion that he had painted to you people and you trusted in it. And that's why a lot of people are disappointed now with them seeing the effects of everything that is taking place in this country, how it's going down the drain, how things is getting worse over here because they believed the lie. They fell for the cheese, you know. And I'm going to go to a precept. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. And it said, never trust thine enemy, right? That's talking about for you Israelites, because our enemy is none other than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? And we know when iron rusteth, the worser it becomes. That's the same thing with this devil, man, you know? And this is verse 11. It said, though he humble himself and go crouching, right? He tell you, oh, we care about you. You know, we're all equal. We're all of this and that, right? But who's the people that's getting deported right now? You so-called northern kingdoms, and soon he's about to come after the southern kingdom as well. But you thought this man was your friend. You know, you believed in the philosophies that he fed you and telling you, oh, you can come over here and make it and all of these lies, man. But soon you people are realizing that it wasn't hyped up to be what you thought, right? And that's because, like I said, again, you fell for the bait. You trusted your enemy, right? It said, yet take good heed and beware of him, right? And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. And that's talking about this devil's characteristics, you know, because we know the history of this man, how violent he is, how wicked he is, the things that he's ultimately done into our people, you know, but people never learn. They think this man can change. They think he's not the same person that he was, you know, a few hundred years ago, man, when he was lynching Jake and doing all these different types of things that he was doing. But this is the same devil, man, you know. So I'm going to go to another precept just touching on that, because all of this goes deeply into our people trusting in this system and not trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Really, that's what Jake loves to do, man. They trust in oppression more than they trust in the Heavenly Father. And I'm going to actually go to that precept, right? This is Isaiah chapter 30, right? And I'm going to go to verse 9, right? It says that this is a rebellious people, right? Talking about you Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And the reason you're rebellious is because you have the men of the Lord that are on the highways and hedges, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and the brothers on down teaching the same doctrine. We're telling you people that this man is not your friend, that he doesn't like you, that he despises you, that soon to come he's going to seek to do way more damage unto you than what he's showing now. We're telling you these things and we're trying to prepare you for them, but you people are not listening because, like I said, you're so in love with this place, America. You so in love with the wine, right? You drunk off of the Babylon juice that this man has presented unto you people, that you don't see anything bad coming, or you don't think that things are going to get worse here. You think it's just going to continue to be the way it is, man. Right? So you're very rebellious, right? And they say lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord, right? You won't hear the messages from the men, the prophets that the Lord have set up to warn you, man, right? All the times that we're about to come into, that this place America is getting ready to go down. All of these different types of things that we tell unto you people don't take heed to them, right? And it says, verse 10 would say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. See, they don't want to hear that, oh, America isn't their rest. Oh, we're still in captivity. You know, oh, the white man is the devil. No, they don't want to hear all of that, man. They want to hear that, oh, man, we can come over here and make it good. You know, we can come over here. The white man loves us all, you know, all of these different types of madness. But the men of the Lord are telling them the truth. And they're like, no, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear lies. We want to hear smooth things, things that pleases our flesh. Right. This is verse 11. It said, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. And that really what it goes back to. They really don't want to hear the words of the Lord, man. Right. And that's because ultimately our people despise it. Right. And it tells you that in this precept. This is Isaiah 30 and 12. It said, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Yasharallah, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, right? And that's what our people trust in, man. That's why they love this place, America. That's why they don't want to let it go, you know, because they rather trust in oppression, man, being ruled over by this damn devil, man, and being told to go to work and getting paid a few crumbs just to make it by every week. Our people love that, man. That's why they don't want to leave this place, you know? So I'm gonna get back into the video. so we can finish listening to what it is she's saying. But that just goes to show you the mindset of our people, man, that they really don't want to get out of this place, America, man. They really love this place, right? But like I said, they're going to see in the near future, man, that everything that the men of the Lord have been warning them about, mainly with this devil, that it was true, you know, and that this place is not for them, man. Right. But like I said, our people going to have to learn the hard way, because ultimately they don't listen to the men of the Lord, you know, that the Lord have set up to warn them of these things. They're going to have to learn a hard way, man. And that's what's going to come upon a lot of them, you know, in the near future. Right. Because we're stepping into those times of Jacob's trouble, man. You know, we're at the beginning stages of it, but it's only going to continue to get intense and intense as time progresses. Right. Bear with me. Get back in the video.
Country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing...
You basically heard what it is that she said, you know, and that's because ultimately, like I said before, you Jake trust in this place, America. And I'm going to go to a precept just, you know, touching on that. Right. This is Isaiah chapter, I believe, chapter 31. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt. Right. This is talking about this place spiritually, Sodom and Egypt, which is America, Babylon the Great. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, right? And that's what you do, Jake. You go down to Egypt for help. You trust in your oppressor. You trust in Esau. You trust in this man's philosophies. You trust in his system. You know, you trust in all of the things in which it is that he have given you, you know, Section 8 housing, all of these different other type of benefits and all of this stuff in which it is that, you know, he have given unto you. You people put your trust in these things, right? And stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, right? You see everything that's happening in this place, America. You see that everything in which it is you are, you know, looking into in this country is getting ready to go downhill. You're seeing that this place is constantly declining day by day, but you people still trust in this place. You see the stock market crashing. You seeing that things over here are getting more expensive. It's getting worse, but you people still trust in this place, right? And it says, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. And that's what our people do, man. You know, they rather put their trust in everything else that's going on rather than seeking Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's why you got Jake going through what they're going through now with the whole deportations and things of that nature, man. Because we know ultimately everything in which it is that happens in the earth, the Lord is controlling it. So the Lord is allowing Esau to come after the northern kingdom and it's soon to be southern kingdom, man, for all of their wickedness and things that they're doing, for not turning back to the Lord, for not seeking him. That's why they're ending up in these situations, man, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to get back into the video.
To restart deportations of migrants to countries other than their own. The case stems from an instance last month when immigration officials sent 8 people on a plane to South Sudan, though they were then diverted to Djibouti. A judge in Boston found that violated his court order, giving people a chance to argue that they could face torture if deported. The Supreme Court said its order will remain in place while the government appeals the Boston judge's ruling. All 3 liberal members of the court dissented. Breaking news, the Supreme Court just sided with Donald Trump and ruled that migrants can be deported to dangerous countries without due process. Until this week, migrants facing deportation to a so-called third country, a place that...
All right. And you hear what it is that he's basically saying, that, you know, a lot of you Israelites getting deported off to these different countries, man, getting sent to El Salvador, prison camps, getting sent to Sudan and, Guantanamo Bay and all type of different other places, man. That's because this man doesn't care about you, man. But like I said, this all goes back into you people trusting in this man is why you finding yourself in these certain situations, man, because you have turned your hearts, meaning your minds away from the Lord and trusted in your oppressor, all right? This is Jeremiah chapter 17. I'm going to read verse 5. And I'm going to read it in the NLT, all right? And it said, wisdom from the Lord. This is what the Lord says. Cursed are those who put their trust in mere humans, right? And that's talking about you Israelites, man, that have put your trust in this man Esau in his system, right? Who rely on human strength, right? Relying on his government, relying on the benefits that they give you, trusting in their philosophies, believing in their legislations, believing that you're equal and all of these things that they have given you to believe, all of these lies, right? And it said, and turn their hearts, meaning their minds, away from the Lord. And that's really why you Israelites are going through the hell and the things that you're going through, man, is because you have turned your minds, right, away from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and you won't turn back to him, right? And we know ultimately 2/3 of our people will not repent and turn back to the Lord anyway, because it's ultimately not for them to turn back at this time. It's only for the Lord's elect. But still, that's why all of these evils are coming up upon you Israelites, man, because of your wickedness, man. Worshiping Jesus Christos and idols and doing all type of other wickedness, man, that the Lord is not fine with. So that's why you are finding yourselves in these certain situations, man. And it's only going to get worse because, like I said, we're getting ready to come into that time of Jacob's trouble, man, where Esau is really going to show the hate that he has towards you Israelites, man. This is only the beginning of him showing those horns, man, right? And I'm actually go to that precept, right? Revelation 12 and 12, because this is the time that we're stepping into. And he's showing that, but on a smaller scale. But it's going to continue to intensify, as I read earlier in Sirach 12 and 10. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. As time progresses, he's going to continue to get more sinister and sinister, more draconian with his laws he's passing, more wicked with his unrighteous decrees and all of these different types of other things in which it is he's doing. And it's all to ultimately to affect you Israelites, man, the most, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? So this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, KJV. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, right? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? El Blanco is come down unto you having great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And that's what he knows, that he only had but a short time to rule the earth in wickedness. So he's going to take out all of that anger, that he has built up against you tribes, man, and that's the time of season in which it is that we're living in, man, but I'm gonna get back into this video. We're going to continue to finish landed play.
That isn't their own had a constitutional right to object if they feared torture or abuse. But that protection is gone. On Monday, the Supreme Court lifted a federal judge's order that had temporarily blocked the Trump administration from carrying out third country removals without warning. The case began when a group of migrants, including people from Cuba, Mexico, Laos, and Vietnam, were detained in Djibouti and scheduled to be deported to South Sudan, a country the U.S. warns against visiting due to kidnapping and armed conflict. The judge said that deportations would violate the Constitution. Trump appealed to the Supreme Court and won. The court's 6-3 ruling clears the way for more deportations to dangerous countries like Libya and South Sudan, even if migrants have never lived there, and even if they were never told. The White House defended the move, saying the migrants were dangerous criminals and that their home countries refused to take them back. But civil rights groups warn this could put people at risk of death, torture, or disappearance without a chance to object.
Significant win for the Trump administration. Here, the High Court allowing them to resume deporting migrants to countries other than their homeland. And we're talking about some turmoil-ridden countries.
Right. And y'all basically heard the little missed of what it is that they were basically talking about, basically saying that they continue with allowing Trump to send so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians off to these different countries, man, that are not your homeland. So that just proves more and more the hate that this man ultimately has for you Israelites, man. And like I said, the men of the Lord have warned you these things and told you that this man is your enemy, right? So like I said, this is only the beginning of what's to come, and it's only going to continue to get worse as time progresses. So That's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Lord's willing to be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. With that being said, we're going to end the video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops where I learned the truth 100% according to the Bible. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.